Women will outuse the user, or they will be subservient to such a degree they turn a man into a monster, and her the victim. And even then, from her victim state, she allows herself to be beaten up, and if a policeman comes along, basically, just watch this scene. You have a man beating a woman up in the street. It's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, right? It's not unusual, but this is one scenario. And the policeman comes to rescue the woman. And he has to beat up the guy a little bit, pull him away. And when he's standing there finished with this, she curses the policeman. She doesn't show any appreciation. They go back together again. So the reason for that is she enjoys turning him into an animal, because deep down, even though she can't beat him one way, she can keep nagging him and being difficult, and then giving in to him and giving in to everything he wants, more sex, until he goes crazy, and then sit quietly and judge him as if she's created the devil and she was God. That's how deadly it becomes. From her quiet place, from the fact that she's been beaten to a pulp, she will still look at the guy as the devil, and she has created the devil, therefore she is God. Now, she may not even think that. You never heard anybody talk like this before? But nobody has ever looked into people like this before. We only see the surface, and we have poor woman. But there may be not such a poor woman at all. She's taking pleasure in making him crazier and crazier and more evil. And she's bringing evil into the world, because that's what God did. God had created evil. He had to create it, didn't he? Isn't there a story about the angels, the war in heaven, and they fall to earth? And that's what's tempting man. We need temptation in order to be better. Now, coming around to my point. You have to suffer temptation. You have to suffer privation. You have to survive with resilience all the outrageous things that happen, trials and tribulations. Every one of them. But for men, for most men and most women, they have to go through that portal. That's the arrangement, and that's, yeah.
You were describing that scene where the woman fends off the policeman. If the only reason she's doing that is because then she wouldn't have nobody to mess with, nobody to mess up if they put him away in jail.
She needs something to
exactly.
She in her own way, and man doesn't understand he's being set up. And when he realizes it, he projects the blame on her rather than his own weakness. If only he would understand that moment, transformation. The woman lies to run away, and she finds somebody else she can do it too. You got rid of what you lost. You got rid of what you never should have had. Well, that's it. But you didn't divorce. You didn't divorce. You understand that? You haven't committed a sin if she divorces. Or he becomes a man, and all of a sudden she sees in him what she's been tempting him to be. And just because you're married doesn't mean say temptation doesn't stop with a good woman. Because there's always, she wants to see if you're still there. Don't you see? There's a sort of a lack of faith. So you don't expect your marriage to ever become perfect. It ever becomes perfect. There's a Mexican standoff of some kind, right?
Is pride and ego the same thing? I mean, she's taking pride in creating the devil.
Ego and pride are the same creature. And pride is the becoming process. Meaning you're becoming more prideful, you're becoming more egotistical. And if you don't mind me saying, you become egotistical. Because that's what happens when you get angry and upset.